Ladies and gentlemen, not everyone we meet in life has good intentions. Some people wear masks appearing kind, trustworthy, and even charming, but beneath the surface, their true nature is far from what they present. We often realize too late that we've trusted the wrong person, given too much of ourselves to someone who only sought to take advantage. But what if you could recognize the signs early? What if there were patterns, traits that exposed bad people before they caused harm? Today I will share 8 traits that bad people often have. Pay close attention, because knowing these signs could protect you from betrayal, manipulation, and disappointment. Evil often hides in charm. Bad people don't always look bad at first. In fact, they can be some of the most charming, charismatic, and persuasive individuals you'll ever meet. They know exactly what to say and how to say it to make you trust them. Their words are smooth, their smiles seem genuine, and their gestures appear kind. But beneath that carefully crafted exterior lies something entirely different, a heart that lacks true sincerity. Have you ever met someone who made a great first impression, only to later realize they weren't who they pretended to be? That's because charm can be a disguise. Bad people use it as a tool, a weapon to disarm others. They know that kindness attracts, that a warm personality makes people lower their guard. So they play the role perfectly. They say all the right things, act in ways that make you feel special, and present themselves as trustworthy. But the true test of character isn't in how someone treats you when they want something, it's in how they treat you when they believe you can do nothing for them. A genuinely good person will be kind regardless of personal gain. A bad person, however, will shift their attitude the moment they no longer need you. History is filled with figures who won the trust of many through their charm, only to later reveal their true, destructive intentions. Think of the greatest manipulators. Many of them weren't openly cruel or intimidating. Instead, they were persuasive, friendly, even likable. But those who paid close attention saw the cracks in their mask. So how can you protect yourself? Pay attention to actions, not just words. Does this person follow through on what they say? Do they show kindness consistently, or only when it benefits them? Do they treat those in lower positions with the same respect they give to those in power? These small observations can help you see past the illusion. Not all charming people are bad, but all bad people understand the power of charm. And that is why evil, more often than not, comes with a smile. Manipulation is their weapon. Bad people rarely act openly hostile from the beginning. Instead, they use manipulation, a subtle yet powerful tool that allows them to control others without appearing forceful. Their words are carefully chosen, their actions calculated, and their emotions often staged to serve a purpose. They don't just deceive, they make others question their own reality, turning confusion into control. One of their most dangerous tactics is emotional manipulation. They know exactly how to make you feel guilty for things you didn't do. They twist situations, playing the victim even when they are the ones at fault. If you call them out on their behavior, they might suddenly act hurt, making you feel like the bad guy for standing up for yourself. Over time, this can wear down even the strongest individuals, leading them to constantly seek approval or avoid conflict. Another technique they use is gaslighting. This means making someone doubt their own perceptions, memories, or sanity. Have you ever confronted someone about something they clearly did, only for them to deny it so convincingly that you start wondering if you imagined it? That's gaslighting in action. They make you question what you know to be true, giving them even more power over you. Then there's guilt tripping, a favorite tool of manipulators. Instead of taking responsibility for their actions, they shift the blame onto others. They remind you of all the things they have done for you, making it seem like you owe them, even when you don't. If you try to set boundaries, they act betrayed, as if your attempt to protect yourself is an act of cruelty. And let's not forget the silent treatment, a passive-aggressive move designed to make you feel anxious and desperate for their approval. When you displease them, they withdraw, making you wonder what you did wrong. The goal is simple: to make you so uncomfortable that you apologize even when they were the ones in the wrong. So, how do you defend yourself? First, recognize the signs. If someone constantly makes you feel guilty, confused, or mentally exhausted, step back and reassess the situation. Trust your instincts. If something feels off, it probably is. Second, set firm boundaries. Manipulators thrive on control, so when you refuse to be controlled, they lose their power over you. Remember, true relationships, whether in family, friendships, or work, are built on mutual respect and honesty, not guilt, fear, or confusion. The moment you sense manipulation, take a step back, protect your peace, and never let someone else control your mind. Loyalty is foreign to them. Loyalty is the foundation of trust. It is what holds friendships, relationships, and partnerships together. But to bad people, loyalty is nothing more than a tool, a temporary act they perform when it benefits them. The moment loyalty requires sacrifice, honesty, or integrity, they abandon it without hesitation. At first, they may seem incredibly devoted. They act as if they are on your side, always supporting you and standing by your decisions. But over time, you begin to notice inconsistencies. They say one thing to you, but something completely different to others. They promise to stand with you, but when difficulties arise, they disappear. If someone betrays small confidences, they are likely to betray bigger ones. One of the clearest signs of disloyalty is how they speak about others. Pay close attention when they gossip or share secrets that aren't theirs to tell. If they betray others in front of you, rest assured they will betray you in front of someone else when the time comes. They have no real sense of honor, only a shifting loyalty that changes depending on who offers them the most benefit. Another sign is how quickly they turn on people who were once close to them. Bad people often have a history of broken relationships, not because of bad luck, but because they lack true commitment to anyone but themselves. They are the type to speak kindly to someone's face and tear them down the moment they walk away. Today they might be standing beside you, but tomorrow they could be standing against you. Perhaps the most painful form of betrayal comes from those who pretend to care. They may act like a friend, a confidant, or even a mentor, but deep down, their loyalty is only surface level. The moment you need them the most, when you are struggling, vulnerable, or facing challenges, they show their true colors. Instead of standing with you, they either distance themselves or, worse, use your struggles against you. So how can you protect yourself from disloyal people? First, don't be fooled by words, watch their actions. True loyalty is proven over time, through consistency and sacrifice, not just through promises. Second, notice how they treat others, especially in moments of conflict. Do they defend those who are absent, or do they eagerly join in gossip and backstabbing? Third, trust slowly. Genuine relationships take time to build, and those who are truly loyal will prove it through their actions, not just their words. At the end of the day, loyalty is a rare and precious quality. Surround yourself with those who stand by you, not only in times of success, but also in times of struggle. Because in a world full of temporary alliances, true loyalty is priceless. They take without giving. One of the most defining traits of bad people is their one-sided nature. They are takers, not givers. They enter relationships, friendships, and even professional connections with one goal: to benefit themselves. They drain the energy, time, and kindness of those around them while offering little to nothing in return. At first, their selfishness might not be obvious. They may appear warm, engaging, and even generous. They could offer small gestures of kindness, but these are often calculated. They do just enough to keep you invested in them. However, as time goes on, a pattern emerges. They always expect you to listen to their problems, but when you need support, they are suddenly too busy. They demand favors but rarely, if ever, return them. They take credit for success but avoid responsibility for failure. This behavior extends beyond friendships and relationships. It can be seen in workplaces, families, and social groups. They expect others to make sacrifices, yet they never inconvenience themselves for anyone else. They want people to celebrate their victories, but when it's time to celebrate someone else's, they show little interest. Their world revolves around one person themselves. One of the most frustrating aspects of dealing with these individuals is that they often act as though they are the ones being mistreated. If you ever refuse to meet their endless demands, they react with disappointment, guilt-tripping, or even anger. They might say things like, "I thought you were a good friend," or "I've done so much for you," when in reality, they have done very little. Their goal is to make you feel guilty so that you continue giving while they continue taking. Bad people also take in ways that are not just material. They steal peace of mind by creating unnecessary drama. They drain emotional energy by constantly seeking attention or playing the victim. They consume your time with endless problems, yet they never seem to find solutions. Their presence in your life often leaves you feeling exhausted rather than fulfilled. So, how do you protect yourself? First, recognize the imbalance. If you are always the one giving, compromising, or making sacrifices while the other person only benefits, it's time to reassess the relationship. Second, set boundaries. You are not obligated to give endlessly to someone who never gives back. Third, watch their reaction when you say no. A person who truly values you will respect your limits, but a selfish person will try to make you feel guilty. The healthiest relationships, whether in friendship, family, or work, are based on mutual giving and receiving. If someone only takes from you while offering nothing in return, it may be time to step back and protect your energy. Because in the end, a relationship that is only beneficial to one person is not a relationship at all, it's exploitation. Their mask always falls. In the intricate dance of human relationships, some individuals masterfully wear masks that hide their true intentions. They project images of charm, kindness, and competence that lure you into a false sense of security. Yet, no matter how flawlessly these masks are crafted, or how seamlessly they blend in with the crowd, there always comes a moment when the veneer begins to crack and ultimately when their true nature is revealed. Today, I want to explore this phenomenon, the inevitable collapse of a carefully constructed facade, and what it tells us about those who live behind a mask. For many, the idea that someone's true self might eventually be unveiled is both comforting and cautionary. It reassures us that no amount of deception can shield a person from the exposure of their genuine character. This exposure is not always immediate. It is a slow process of revelation that occurs over time, often through a series of small, seemingly insignificant moments. Think about it. Each interaction, each inconsistency in their words or actions is like a tiny crack in the mask. When observed closely, these cracks multiply until finally the mask shatters under the weight of accumulated discrepancies. Bad people are often experts in impression management. They know exactly which parts of their personality to display in order to garner trust, admiration, or even envy. They invest considerable energy in cultivating an appealing image, one that often contradicts their inner motives. They might appear empathetic in public, supportive in times of need, and even virtuous in the eyes of those who barely know them. However, this image is nothing more than a carefully rehearsed performance, a role played to perfection until circumstances force them into unguarded moments. When faced with challenges, accountability, or situations where personal gain is no longer at the forefront, the cracks begin to show. Consider the behavior of someone who is adept at deception. They will often rely on a repertoire of excuses, deflections, and justifications to maintain their image. When confronted with inconsistencies, rather than offering sincere explanations or making amends, they might double down on their performance, smiling, laughing, or even feigning surprise at the very notion of betrayal or conflict. Yet, the more they try to control the narrative, the more the truth begins to seep through. Their reactions can become increasingly erratic or defensive. betraying the fact that they are not as composed as their public persona suggests. This is the first sign that the mask is under strain. Furthermore, their inability to maintain their facade under pressure is often evidenced by an inherent inconsistency in their behavior. While they may present themselves as paragons of virtue in controlled settings, private moments can reveal a starkly different personality. Perhaps in the quiet moments of solitude, or in the presence of someone who holds them accountable, their true self emerges ruthless, self-serving, and devoid of genuine empathy. The stark contrast between public performance and private reality serves as a powerful reminder that no matter how sophisticated the artifice, authenticity cannot be sustained indefinitely. It is important to note that the exposure of the mask is not always a dramatic, life-altering event. More often it is a gradual process, a series of small but telling incidents that, when pieced together, create a clear picture of who the person truly is. Over time you might notice patterns, promises made and broken, repeated lapses in behavior, or a continuous cycle of manipulation that never seems to change. Each of these moments chips away at the carefully constructed facade until eventually the reality is undeniable. When their true nature is finally exposed, it is a moment of both clarity and liberation. You finally see the person for who they are, and this realization empowers you to take control of your interactions and protect yourself from further harm. This process of exposure is also a valuable lesson in the importance of vigilance. It reminds us to look beyond the surface, to be wary of those who are too polished or too perfect in their outward demeanor. While it is natural to want to see the best in people, it is equally important to trust your intuition when something feels off. A gut feeling of unease can be the first indication that the mask is beginning to slip. Paying attention to these subtleties can help you navigate complex relationships with a more discerning eye. Moreover, the inevitable downfall of the mask underscores a deeper truth about human nature. Authenticity is both rare and powerful. Genuine character is built on consistency, humility, and accountability, qualities that cannot be easily fabricated or maintained through artifice. In contrast, a mask, no matter how well crafted, is inherently fragile. It may serve its purpose for a time, but eventually, the truth always finds a way to emerge. This natural course of revelation is not just a defensive mechanism, it is also an affirmation of our collective ability to discern and recognize true virtue. While the art of wearing a mask may allow some to navigate the complexities of social interactions and gain temporary advantages, it is a strategy doomed to fail in the long run. The mask may serve as a temporary shield, a means of concealing unsavory intentions, but it cannot protect against the persistent scrutiny of time and experience. Ultimately, when the mask falls, and it inevitably will, it exposes a reality that is often as disappointing as it is inevitable. This exposure is a reminder that true character, unlike a fleeting performance, is something that stands the test of time. It encourages us to seek out authenticity in ourselves and in those we choose to trust. And in doing so, it reaffirms a fundamental principle. While appearances can deceive, the truth will always prevail. Let this be a call to remain observant, to trust not just in the words of those around you, but in the subtle cues and inconsistencies that reveal their real selves. By learning to recognize when the mask is slipping, you can safeguard your well-being and invest your trust in those whose actions consistently reflect their inner truth. For in the end, it is the authenticity of our connections that sustains us, not the fleeting allure of a well-worn disguise. Thank you.